It's 6 o'clock a.m. where I live on the west coast. Not really on the coast, but oops, wrong slide, buddy. Oh, Kruleboyz faction focus first impression. I got my cup of coffee. Gotta go to work soon. Let's take a look. Oh jeez. But thanks. Oh, this isn't even the right bloody slide. Oh my lord. What is happening? It's just too early in the morning, guys. Oh, it is the right slide. I don't know. Thanks to my patrons Panda, Sproul, Yvonne, Tom, Christian Lance, and Zed Ramirez, and Wyberian for the art. Check out links in the description and buy some dice. Okay, good. I did it. We did it, guys. Warhammer Age of Sigmar faction focus Kruleboyz. I haven't seen this yet. No peaks, no nothing. This is genuinely my first impressions. Check out later. Gonna do more videos on it. Cunning but brutal. Take a slow, long sip of my coffee. Orcs are everywhere in the mortal realms. I don't really want to read all this. It's too early. Oh, that's a nice drummer. Okay, I am going to read this. Overview. Despite their more cautious attitude towards warfare, the Kruleboyz are orcs through and through. They're slender compared to their hulking cousins and the Ironjaws, trading bulk for a longer reach. Hard thinking is something to be encouraged, and they will calmly calculate a plan to attack rather than hurtling headlong into a scrap. The Kruleboyz war party creeps forward under cover of night and fog, hefting jagged weapons coated with venom, harvested for bog-dwelling horrors, and gleefully lay traps and lure their foes into an ambush. When this penchant, I don't know what that word means. I'm going to look it up real quick, sorry, because I don't like to not know what words mean.
Penchant.
A strong or habitual liking for something or tendency to do something. With this penchant for sludgery, smarts, and sheer spite, the Kruleboyz stay on the literal cutting edge of unpleasant innovations. They proudly craft gurning. I don't even know what that word means. Is it just really early? I swear, guys, I'm not an idiot.
Gurn.
Gurn. Make a grotesque face. Okay. They proudly craft gurning scare shields to intimidate their foes, and the deaf spikers of each war clan construct vicious war machines like giant beast skewering killbows, which can bring down the biggest monsters. There's my boy Gobby. Okay, I'm not reading the rest of it. It's too early. Oh my god. Okay, so like, I don't know, I'm just so like nervous. Is it weird? Okay, dirty tricks. Kruleboyz will use whatever devious means they can to gain the upper hand. Venom encrusted weapons is on the thing. Effect. Your army can use one dirty trick ability per phase. Cool. What's a phase? A phase is the shooting phase, the combat phase. The effects of a dirty trick ability is only applied if you make a successful dirty trick roll. Okay, the success of a dirty trick roll depends on the number of dirty tricks abilities your army has already used this battle round. Okay. So, it looks like on a 2-up, you're going to get to use an ability, a dirty trick ability, for the first time in a battle round. So this is a round, so it's not a turn. So it means that like your first and second one are going to be relatively likely, and then getting like more than that is really unlikely. But if you want to use a dirty trick at first, like the first dirty trick that you use, if you fail the roll, then you still haven't used dirty trick. So then the next time that you attempt to use a dirty trick, you're still rolling a 2-up. So the probability of getting your first dirty trick is high, and the probability if you fail your first dirty trick of getting the next time you try to use a dirty trick is even higher, or is not even higher, but is also really high. So you can kind of count on getting your first one, and then the second one you're sort of like, so when you plan your dirty tricks, you have to be like, well, which dirty trick do I want? Because it's a battle round, it's not a turn, right? So there's a lot of phases, right? Hero, move, shoot, charge, fight, I guess there's no battle shock phase. I don't know if there's a 6th phase, but so there's like 10 of them. So you're going to have to really think and be like, okay, so like this is the one I'm kind of thinking is really important this round. And then maybe I want to throw in an additional one and then make that decision if I want to try to use the additional one before or if I want to wait and really make sure that I nail the one that I that I really need, right? Okay, well, let's keep reading. Okay, so far, fine. Once per turn, army, any charge phase. So this is a dirty trick, this is a dirty trick, this is a dirty trick, so they're all dirty tricks. So they're all just dirty tricks. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. And then we have charge phase, your hero phase, any movement phase, any combat phase. Okay, so we have your hero phase, any move, any charge, any combat. So there's 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so let's check these out. So far so good. Like, I kind of like the idea, you know. I don't really like that I have to roll for it. I don't like the chance of failure. Like, I would much rather it be like you like the first one's free, and then it's a 3-up, 4-up, right? Because if you really need one to go off, I'd like for the first one to be able to happen. But a 2-up, I can. That's fine. Super. Sneaky sneakin', noisy racket, lethal surprise, venom crested weapons. Okay. So, lethal surprise, any charge phase. As the enemy charges into the Kruleboy line, little do they know they have been lured into a series of cunning concealed traps. Okay. Declare. Pick an enemy unit that charged this turn and is in combat with any friendly Kruleboyz unit to be the target. Then make a dirty trick roll. I already don't like it. Inflict D3 mortal wounds on the target. In addition, for the rest of the turn, the target's weapons cannot be affected by charge +1 damage weapon abilities. Like, D3 mortal wounds, meh. So this is like 2-up D3 mortal wounds, right? 3-up mortal wounds, don't really care. +1 damage charge, well, if they have that ability, that's cool. And if they don't have this ability, this doesn't do anything. Well, I shouldn't say nothing, but D3 mortal wounds is not enough damage, really. I would have much rather this ability attempted to deny the charge. I've said this over and over and over again with Kruleboyz, but I feel like they need a way to not get charged. So instead of like D3 mortal wounds and no charge, I would have rather been like, oh, then you can move that far back. So like, when this matters, like the +1 damage, I hope, but we'll see what gut rippers are like, right? But if gut rippers melt anyway, then, but +1 damage charge, it feels kind of nichey. We'll see how prevalent this charge +1 damage is. We'll also see, like, are the gut rippers the ones that are going to be holding our objectives, and so they're going to be getting charged? So, but like, isn't just -1 to hit better than this? Like, isn't their old ability better? Because their old ability, you didn't have to roll for it, it just happened. Right? And it was just -1 to hit. That seems better than this. We'll see if maybe gut rippers also have, like, again, we'll see what the whole shenanigans are. Let's just roll down. So I just want to see what we got. Ooh, Gobsprakk, Killaboss, Merknob, interesting, and gut rippers. Okay, so we will see gut rippers. No swamp color. That was the one that me and Aaron were predicting yesterday that we would see. Okay. So far, feeling okay. Okay, once per turn, your hero phase. Your army can use 1 dirty trick ability per phase, right? Okay, so it's not like you can just use these a bunch of times and try to keep rolling, get a hot roll. Okay. Venom encrusted weapons. These weapons are smeared with a lethal mix of toxins extracted from poison sludge, venom swamp creatures, and spit. Declare. Pick a friendly Kruleboy infantry unit to be the target, then make a dirty trick roll. Okay, so it's probably going to be Kruleboyz. Or, sorry, gut rippers, right? I'm not sure if we'll have any other infantry than that. Could be Hobgrots. We'll have to see. Effect. Until the start of your next turn, the target scores critical hits on an unmodified hit roll of 5 up. Okay, so Venom Encrusted Weapons is sort of just like it was before with the Swamp Call Shaman. You're just like, oh, unmodified crit rolls on a 5 up. But you don't have to be close to the Shaman. It could just be anybody, any infantry, anywhere on the map. So, cool. This is going to be good when you need it, but again, it's only on infantry, which is fine. It was always sort of best used on infantry. We'll see if Boltboys are infantry. Attacks, the target's attacks. So this, I guess, would also include shooting attacks. So Boltboys are probably going to be infantry, because for the keywords we've seen, it's been like monsters, you know, wizards, but I haven't seen any specific for like shooting. Let me know in the comments below if you have, but I don't think I've seen anything specific for like ranged. Infantry just sort of feel like all the foot people. So Boltboy's still going to be doing mortals on 5 ups. Okay, that's good. Okay, once per turn, army. It's funny how they say once per turn, but it's like doubled up. I guess it's fine, but it says that you can only do 1 per phase, and it says once per turn, army. Oh, it's once per turn. So you could do this. Well, this is your hero phase. So this is once per turn, any charge phase. So you could do this twice in a battle round. This one also says once per turn army. This one says once per turn army. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it looks like you could technically get a total of 7 dirty tricks if you kept rolling 5 ups. Okay. Once per turn, any movement phase. Sneaky sneakin'. Cloying, right? Swamp Mist masks the Kruleboyz movement. Declare, pick a friendly Kruleboyz infantry unit that has 10 or fewer models. 10 or fewer models and is not in combat to be the target. They make a dirty trick roll. Effect, remove the target from the battlefield and set it up again wholly within 3 inches of a terrain feature and more than 9 inches from all enemy units. So it's like, it's a teleport. It's a teleport for 10 or fewer models. They have to be infantry. So it can't be like a reinforced unit of Gutrippaz or a reinforced unit of Hobgrots. And then they have to be wholly within 3 of a terrain feature and more than 9. But this is good. On a 2 up. In any movement phase. Wow. This is a teleport on your opponent's movement phase. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I mean. You run your Gutrippaz forward, and they sort of get in the way, and then your opponent is gonna like move outside of 3 inches of them, and then you're gonna be like, oh, okay, and then I just roll a 2 up, and I'm gonna pick them up and move them like way far back. Like I'm gonna move them like 13 inches, 14 inches away, wholly within 3 of a terrain feature, and far away from you. Right? Because without any charges to bonus to charges, we'll see if we actually get any charge bonuses, but without them, then 9 inches is too far. Right? And the restrictions on being wholly within 3 of a terrain feature aren't like really super challenging to try to like put yourself in an aggressive position to charge on your movement phase. But like this is really going to be useful for like throwing up forward screens and then just pulling them out of the way. Right? It's like you're gonna fail to charge me. This is what I mean. This is so much better as an anti-charge mechanic than the lethal surprise one is. Let's just make sure that we're reading this correct. Okay, once per turn for your army. Okay, any movement phase. Pick a friendly Kruleboyz infantry unit that has 10 or fewer models and is not in combat to be the target. Okay, then make a dirty trick roll. Fine. Effect, remove the target from the battlefield and set it up again wholly within 3 inches of a terrain feature and more than 9 inches from all enemy unit. Yep. I'm gonna yeet my units forward and then yoink, pull them out. It's like, haha, gotcha. That's really good. I'm really disliking my music setup. I gotta fix it, but I can't do it right now. Okay, once per turn, army, any combat phase. Noisy racket. So again, this is once per turn. So this you can do this in your opponent's combat phase and in your combat phase if you keep rolling well. Declare, pick an enemy unit in combat with any friendly Kruleboyz unit to be the target, then make a dirty trick roll. The strike last effect applies for the rest of the turn. Yep, it's good. Strike last is good. We're seeing lots of those kind of shenanigans. So they're good. They're good. Like, they're good. I'm not super... Lethal Surprise is kind of really niche-y. You know, it's only going to be if they have this charge +1 damage. Right? Like, if they don't have this ability, then it's like... Okay, so let's say that we start the turn, where we start the battle round, and it's our turn. Okay, so we're going to use Venom Encrusted Weapons. Probably every single time. Right? It's in our hero phase. It's going to be the first phase that it happens on. It's going to be the first one that we want, and we're going to want it every single time. So on a 2-up, right, we get Venom Encrusted Weapons. Cool. And then if it's our turn, we're controlling the pace of combat. So the strike last effect doesn't really matter because we are going to get to pick first. We're probably not getting charged. Right? And if we are afraid of getting charged, we're going to use the sneak in to pull ourselves out. So on our turn, it looks like we're probably only using Venom Encrusted Weapons. And then our opponent's turn, we're probably going to use sneaking, right? To pull ourselves out of the way. And if we're already in combat, we're probably going to use Noisy Racket. I think that's how it's going to work out. So on our turn, it's a 2-up to get Venom Encrusted, and then on our opponent's turn, it's going to be a 3-up to get Sneakin', and then maybe a 4-up to get Strike Last. If we're already in combat, or these will be reversed, right? We'll want to get the Strike Last effect, and then we'll be like, well, do we need the Sneakin' for a 3-up, or do we want to just save it for the Strike Last effect? Once per turn, because Venom Encrusted Weapon is only in our hero phase. So if we go first, it's just a 2-up, and if we go second, it's either going to be a 3-up, right? And that's going to be the difficulty of it, right? Is that if we're going second in the round, then I feel like Lethal Surprise probably isn't going to get a lot of play, because Sneakin' is just better. It's like, just don't charge me. Just fail to charge me. But I like it. Sneakin' is really strong. I feel like there's lots of other ways that we can use Sneakin' that I'm not thinking of because it's 6:20 a.m. and my alarm to get up doesn't even go off for 10 more minutes. My kid's up. Okay. Yeah, I mean, good. Like, I like it. It feels Kruleboyz-y, you know? I'm not a big fan of the rolling, but I understand why. It's not just like you get to... Because if it said like, oh, you just get to pick 3 per round, it'd be like, oh, okay, you just get to pick. But because you roll, it's going to be like, oh yeah, you know, whenever I get charged on a 5-up. I also... Yeah, I mean... I doubt Lethal Surprise gets used, but Sneakin's really good. Venom Encrusted Weapons is really good. Noisy Rackets is really good. Yeah. Fantastic. Let's see. Your rank and file infantry can prepare Venom Encrusted Weapons to improve their critical hit potential, while it says infantry, right? Okay, while smaller mobs can do some sneaking in an enemy movement phase to get into position for a killing blow. Yeah, or to just get out of the way. Kruleboyz might feint and leave a flank open to lure their opponent into a lethal surprise of careful traps and raised spear walls, or by clattering shields and hollering. They can create a noisy racket to disorient enemy combatants. If you want your plan to go off without a hitch, you'll need to carefully judge which tricks you'll use and how many and on whom. Yeah, battle formations. Okay, let's see. These wily orcs have a wealth of tactics at their disposal, and the index includes 4 battle formations. The Kruleboyz, there's another mistake here. The Kruleboyz Claw makes great use of shamanic rituals to raise Swamp Shroud that can steal any friendly units who lurk near terrain. Okay. So, Swamp Shroud. Before the warriors of a Kruleboyz claw strike, the shamans enact a mighty ritual to smother the battlefield in a thick, stinky mist that conceals them from the enemy. Effect. Friendly Kruleboyz units that are wholly within 3 inches of a terrain feature are not visible to enemy units that are more than 12 inches away from them. Okay, so this is our Grit and Blades. But they put a condition on it where you have to be wholly within 3 of a terrain feature. Okay, I'm okay with playing around terrain. Right? Like, this is okay. I don't understand how the idea that the battlefield is covered in fog means you have to be next to terrain. But, sure. They sort of made Grit and Blades a little bit worse, but that's okay. Because the ability was really strong. Are not visible to enemy units that are more than 12 inches away from them. Right, so it means that... I can't remember in AOS 4 if you have to see to charge. I don't think you do, right? So it means you could still technically land a 13-inch charge, but I can't remember exactly. But, okay, it sort of means that, like, and they have to be wholly within 3. So it sort of means, like, the, you know, our Bull Boys are going to be hidden, but our Gut Rippers are not, and our big monsters are not, which is, you know, fine. Again, other battle formations keep up a supply of specially fledged bolts ready for when ranged right. Okay. Focus on stealth and mobility, better ambush the enemy. Okay. Steal their shiny stuff. And then war beasts. So it's like, okay. Stealth and mobility is going to be one. Either destroying or taking artifacts of power. Seems like it's going to be one. And then one for the actual monsters. And this is what we wanted, right? We wanted a Kruleboyz subfaction that was specific to monsters. Cool. Arcana and Incantations. Lower the Swamp. Casting value 7. Choking Mist. Your hero phase. The shaman summon a cloud of corrosive vapor that scorches the lungs of any caught within it, racking them with agonizing coughing fits. Declare. Pick a friendly Kruleboyz wizard to cast the spell. Pick a visible enemy unit wholly within 18 inches of them to be the target, then make a casting roll 2d6. So the range has been reduced. Effect. Subtract 1 from attack characteristic of the target's weapon until the start of your next turn. So Choking Mist got nerfed. It's not 24 inches. It's not a huge AoE. It's not no run and -1 attacks. It's just 18 inches, 1 target, -1 attacks. Again, fine. Like, they're reducing the power level of a bunch of things. So this is, their power level of this is reduced. 18 inches is still quite far. And then -1 attacks characteristic was the really good thing. So the fact that it's no run, it's like, okay. Like, fine. Choking Mist is a little bit worse, but that's okay. Everything seems to be a little bit worse. Yeah. Unit focus. Gobsprakk. Oh my god. I don't wanna. Health 14, control 5, 5 up save, 12-inch move. So it's actually, he's actually a little bit slower. He used to be 14. Okay. Demon Finger Staff. 3 attacks, 4s and 3s, no rend D3. Anti-wizard, +1 rend. So against wizards, with all out attack, it's like 3 attacks at 3s and 3s, 1 rend, D3 damage. I kind of want to pull up what he was before on my other monitor, just to make sure of that. Well, I like the anti-wizard. We were talking about this in my video yesterday, but Gobsprakk feels like he should be an anti-wizard. That's his role, and they should lean into that a little bit more heavily. And so, good, he's got anti-wizard +1 rend, and he's got anti-wizard +1 rend right here. And then it's this crit mortal, right? And then 2 companion abilities. So if he gets venom encrusted weapons, it's only going to be crit mortals on 5s. And there's only 3 attacks. So you're not using venom encrusted weapons on Gobsprakk, right? Because his companion abilities don't get this buff, if I'm remembering correctly. Okay, Killaboss, Talons, and Beaks, 7 attacks, 4s and 2s, with 1 rend and 2 damage, and anti-wizard +1 rend. So this is where we're really going to be eating into. And this doesn't have the crit mortals here, but it does have 7 dice, right? And then if you give them all out attack, 3s and 2s, with 2 rend on wizards. Like, this is the thing that's going to be eating wizards. Let's see. Where is it? Right there. 7. Okay. So 7 attack. Let's say that we're using our all-out attack here. So we got, let's say we're not. So 4s and 2s, but let's say that we are attacking wizards. So wizards generally don't have great saves. Ooh, that's not as high as I was hoping. 4s and 3s, 2 rend, 2 damage. 4s, oh no, 4s and 2s. Yeah, 4s and 2s, 2 rend, 2 damage. So it's actually not as much damage as I was hoping. It's a little bit small, but it's like against a 4-up save, we're looking at just under 5 damage. So it's not actually enough to really kill lots of foot heroes, but I bet you if I change it to 3s. Yeah, so if the foot wizard has like 5 or 6, maybe even 7 wounds, you're gonna have to use all-out attack to kill him. I was hoping that you wouldn't have to use all-out attack to get him, but that is what it's looking like. Actually, never mind, because this is only one of the attacks. Right, this is only one of the attacks. So let's just say that we're not using all-out attack, and we're just gonna add all of his profiles. So 3 attacks, what was it again? 430 D3, 430 D3, and then our last profile, Killaboss Stinger. 1 attack, 3s and 2s, crit mortal, so it's just kind of Stinger. Oh yeah, we can't use, yeah, we're not doing that. Okay, so 1 model, 3s and 2s, 1 rend, and then D6. And this is, of course, not including any venom-encrusted weapons. So yeah, like we'll be able to kill a foot wizard without really having to use any other resources. Just getting on top of them is enough to kill most wizards. Oops. Let's make sure that my music's working properly here, because it's not. Oops, that's my alarm to get out of bed. I got about 15 more minutes. Okay. I gotta hurry up, I guess. Passive battle damage effect. While this unit has 10 or more damage points, the attack characteristic of Killaboss talent is a 5. Okay, fine. So it just loses 2 attacks. That's fine. Once per battle reaction, opponent declares a spell ability. Here's our Screaming Mandrake. Once per battle. So it is a once per game. This unit uses the Unbind ability, but the Unbind roll is 3d6 instead of 2d6. Okay, so Screaming Mandrake is the same. We were hoping that this ability would be better instead of just a once per game, but let's keep reading. Once per turn, army, any combat phase, crush to death. Pick an enemy unit in combat with this unit to be the target. Roll a die. If the roll exceeds the target's health characteristic, 1 model in the target unit is slain. So it's a rampage. So he has a rampage. Okay. So it's like, you know, on a 3-up, kill a 2-wound model. On a 2-up, kill a 1-wound model. On a 6-up, kill a Croxivore. Probably worse than Stomp. Right? Because it's not just a 2-up D3, which is probably enough to kill a 1 or a 2-wound model. So worse than Stomp, so not a very good rampage, but that's okay because that's not his role. Mork says no. Each time this unit unbinds a spell, inflict D3 mortal wounds on the caster. If the unbind roll was 10 plus, inflict D6 mortal damage on the caster instead. So Mork says no is the same. But no primals. Okay. Strangle Hex. Declare. So this is his spell on a 6. So he has a War Scroll spell. That's cool. Pick a visible enemy unit within 18 inches of this unit, then make a casting roll of 2d6. Effect, roll a number of dice equal to the target's health characteristic to a maximum of 10. For each 4-up, inflict 1 mortal damage on the target. Cool. So he's got like a pretty easy to cast spell, right? With a 6. And he's going to deal 5 mortal wounds. He's going to deal 5 mortal damage to big things. Right? To anything that's got 10 or more on a 4-up, it's going to deal mortal damage. So if it's a monster of any kind, he's going to deal 5 mortal damage. Weird. It's like this is like an anti-monster spell. Right? So it's like he's got anti-wizard, anti-monster. You would think that this would be like, I don't know, but like it's good. You know, it's good. Like 5 mortal damage is a lot for what we're seeing in this edition. So it's like he's going to deal... So if it's like a wizard monster, right? Like himself, he's going to deal 5 mortal wounds, right? And then he's going to deal probably enough to kill himself. Like Gobsprakk kills himself if he fights himself, which is good, you know? Like he goes down to 9 health, and then from there, like with maybe an all-out attack and maybe some crit mortals, like you could pull that off. He could kill himself. Okay, War Master, unique, hero, monster, wizard 2, good, fly, ward 6 up. I was hoping for a better ward, but yeah, I mean he's good. Like he's good. The rampage isn't. This is the rampage is added, right? He lost the mouth of Mork with the redeploy, but he was going to lose that because we're not issuing commands to each other anymore. I guess his War Scroll spell before was Summon Boggy Mist, but that's changing. Okay, good. I'm happy. We'll see what the points are like. Kill boss on Great Nashtooth. Kill boss on Great Nashtooth. 10 move, 10 health, 3 up save, 2 control. Okay. Boss Sticka, 3s and 3s, 1 rend 2 damage, and the Nashtooth's 4s and 3s, 1 rend 2 damage. So the Nashtooth's profile actually went down, so it looks like overall this guy's damage went down. Oh, he's got 1 more attack, but it's not 3s and 3s. The 2 rend here was good, so he's actually not going to be as fighty, but that's okay. Passive. That's ours. You get effect. While this unit is contesting an objective you do not control, add 1 to the hit rolls for combat attacks made by friendly Kruleboyz infantry units wholly within 12 inches of this unit. Here we go. This is good. So add 1 to hit rolls. So it's all out attack if he's on an objective that you don't control. Okay, so that's a good niche for him. It's like he's leading the charge. That makes sense. All part of the plan. Declare, pick a friendly Kruleboyz unit wholly within 9 inches of this unit to be the target. Add 3 to the target's control score until the start of the next turn. Okay, so that's his role. So he's going to charge in. He's going to buff up his friends. And have them be a higher control score. Cool. I like it. Good. Hero, cavalry. So he's not infantry. Right? Which means you can't use some of those abilities, right? Like Venom Encrusted Weapons, for example. Merknob, move 5, 4 up, save, 6 health, 5 control. Merknob Cleaver, 4s and 3s, 1 rend, 2 damage, crit mortal. Okay. Power of Kragnos. Effect, friendly Kruleboyz units have ward 6 up while they're wholly within 12 inches of this unit. Okay. Meh. 6 up wards don't excite me. The other ability he had, I think, was better. Breath of, like, the spell ignore on a 5 up, I think is better than a 6 up ward for this guy, but we'll see. Breath of the Mire Drakes. Declare. Pick each enemy unit in combat with this unit to be the target. Roll the die for each target. On a 1, has no effect. On a 2 to 5, it's 1. Ugh. Still boring. Bummer. I was hoping this thing would actually be good. 6 up ward, wholly within 12. Meh. Like Gobsprakk has a 6 up ward. Like meh. And then 1 mortal damage for everything in combat with it. I guess it's 3-inch range. Right? That's the rule. It's a 3-inch range, so everything within 3 inches is going to take 1 mortal damage. Meh. Hero, infantry. I'm going to pass on the Merknob again. Too bad. I wanted to put him on the table. Okay, here's what matters. Gut Rippas. 5 move, 5 up save, 2 health, 1 control. Fine. Sticka or Hacka. 4-3-0. So they got 1 better wound. Right? So we're not 4s and 4s with no rend, but crit mortals. We still have no rend. But it is crit mortal, so this is very similar to what it was before, but it is a little bit better, which is good. Because it was terrible before. 4s and 4s was bad. Use this 1 to 10, set a better 1 to 10 champion. Okay. So scare tactics. Effect. Roll a die. On a 3 up, subtract 1 from hit rolls for attacks made by non-hero units that target this unit for the rest of the turn. On a 3 up. Not a fan of this. Right? Because it wasn't even a roll before. It just happened. And on a 3 up is not a good roll. It counts for monsters and stuff. Non-hero units. So it's everything. Is it No, it's in the combat phase, so it's only going to be combat abilities. So, I don't know. We'll see. Overall, not super excited about Gutrippaz. They're a little bit better, but also a little bit worse. They're kind of supposed to be the anvil. And then this is the spearhead spotlight. Yeah, so I'm not even gonna... Oh, here's a kill bow. Okay, so the effect, this is probably going to be the same. So still a huge range. 4s and 2s, 2-rend, crit auto wounds. And then it just deals 6 if it's a monster. It's probably fine. 2 attacks. 4s and 2s. All out attack is so much more precious now, but 3s and 2s. And if you just roll a 6, it's just 6 damage. Alright. So what do I think about this overall? Overall, dirty tricks are good. I like the dirty tricks. I think it's cool. I like the sneaky sneakin'. I think it's going to be our best thing. I think. Venom Encrusted Weapon is only for infantry, so I think it'll probably just be like auto use on Boltboyz every single turn. But the fact that it's going to be a 3-up is going to hurt. That's a little bit too swingy. I liked the poison was better. Because you can plan around moving your Swamp Color Shamans and keeping them within range of your Boltboyz. But now you don't have to. The Swamp Color Shamans can operate independently, but now you need a roll to make to make it work. So that's like not as good. Everything kind of got a little bit worse, didn't it? But it all depends on points and the other sub-factions and everything else. So dirty tricks are definitely significantly better. The Gnashtooth, or the kill boss on Gnashtooth feels like he actually serves a role now. Murknob is probably still just as bad. We'll see how important 1 mortal damage is. But a 6-up ward does not impress me. Gutrippaz, probably a little bit worse. They're not hammers, so I don't like the extra whatever point of to wound doesn't really make that big of a difference to me. And I think that Scare Tactics is probably worse, because sometimes it's going to do nothing, right? On a 1 or a 2, it's not going to do anything. So 1/3 of the time, this is a nothing ability, and then the rest of the time, it's what it was before. So we'll have to see what it's like in context of everything else, but I got to go to work. So let me know what you think. I'll probably do more in-depth discussions on these things later. So let me know what you think. Like, subscribe. Wow.